Okay, mic check, mic check. This is how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. That's how it's done. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Okay, so to thread your industrial machine, it's really easy. You got two stands here. This one is normally for the bobbin, and this one is normally for the needle. And so this is super easy. I'm going to use red thread, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. But the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go behind this and poke it through that hole. And then you're going to bring it down. Okay, so you've got your machine all set up and you're looking through the books and they didn't tell you how to thread it. Uh, or basically anything about the bobbin or anything like that. So to alleviate your fears of that, we're going to take this top plate, we're going to divide it in half. If you draw an imaginary line across here, this is for the bobbin and this is for the needle. All right. So for our bobbin, we're only going to concentrate on this side. I'm going to reach back here and turn the machine on. And so they didn't tell you about the bobbins, and this is the ones that they send. They're pretty basic. There's not even a hole to put the thread through. Some people put it through the center and then wrap it around a couple of times, but it always winds up slipping off. And they send you 3 of these, which is really nice of them. But I ordered some of these, and you can see they're basically the same size, but this one's got that little hole for the thread to go through to start winding it up. And these bobbins are 21 millimeters by 9 millimeters. So they're 21 millimeters wide, 9 millimeters tall, and that makes it a class L or a L style bobbin. All right, so to wind this up, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you lift your presser foot so that your feed dogs aren't rubbing on your foot unnecessarily. But so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go through, there's 2 holes on here. The first thing is we're going to go through this one, and then we're going to go through this one. Now, we're going to take up the slack on this, but when you do that, you want to make sure that your thread goes in between these two tension plates. And then what I do is I just give it a little pull so that they go in there. Maybe you want to floss it back and forth. And then you would adjust this knob one way or the other to adjust the tension on your thread while it's feeding into your bobbin. If you look at your bobbin after you're done, and if all the thread is like all bulged out and everything and loose, you need to give it some more tension. If the new thread going in is down into the other thread on there, you've got it too tight. So you may have to load this up a couple of times to get the tension going. And so this is super easy. You're going to take the end of your thread. You're just going to go through the middle of the bobbin and out the hole. All right, so it's like that. And then you're going to go over here, going to push it down, and you're going to pop this thing over. Now, we're manually loading up this bobbin, And after you've got it in the machine and you're working, you can take another bobbin, go ahead and load it up, and it will wind it while you sew, and you will fill this up before you use up your other bobbin. And when it's finished, it'll automatically pop this over and it'll stop winding, and it'll be ready for you when you need it. And then you just repeat the process. That way, if you do have another spool of thread that you want to use, it won't you won't have to unthread your other your needle to do it. So all we're going to do is we're going to step down on the pedal and get this going. And you want to let it go around 3 or 4 times, or up and down 3 or 4 times, and then you can just snip the end off. And then we're just going to sit here and wind it up. There you go. You can hold it down forever and it's not going to do anything. It's done. All right. And so this little piece right here, this is a cutting blade. I've seen some videos where they come from here and go under this and go up to this. That is incorrect. If you do that, this will keep your thread all the way at the bottom, and it won't load your bobbin evenly. It'll all be loaded at the bottom because this is keeping the thread down. This is simply just a cutter. So pull this up, pull a little back, and pull it off. And there, it's cut it for you. Okay, once you have your bobbin wound up, hold it facing towards you so that the thread is going clockwise. And you've got a tail of maybe 4 to 5 inches hanging off. It should look like a 9. All right. Hold the end of it. Take your bobbin, make sure you don't drop it. And then you're going to take your bobbin case. And then your bobbin case, you see that little U-shaped cutout? Make that at the top and just drop your bobbin in. And then you're going to bring the thread around to that slit. You're going to take it around that slit and then up and around into that little hole right there. And that's it. It's ready to go in. Okay, loading your bobbin into the machine is really easy. You see this little lever? If you pull on that, it pulls this little arm in, and it'll keep the bobbin from falling out. All right. And you see this little pin right there? Make sure your needle is at the highest point, and this little hook should be down at the bottom. And then when you put your bobbin in, you want to make sure that this U-shaped cutout is at the very top. Now you can either pull this lever and push it in, but you can also just reach up here, put it on there and push it, and you'll hear that pop. You'll hear that little snap, and it's ready to go. Okay, to thread the needle side, normally you would have 2 spools of thread, one for your bobbin, one for your needle. But I've only got 1 spool of red, and I want to make sure that you see this. So I'm just going to swap it around. So again, you're going to come from behind and push your thread through the hole and pull it down. Okay, coming down from your thread rod, you're going to go to this piece first, because remember I said from this over is the bobbin and from here over is the needle. So this is our first thing that we're going to go to, and it's got 3 holes. If you're using mercerized cotton, they want you to use all 3. But if you're just using regular thread, this is a Tex 70 or a number 69. So we're only going to go through the first hole, and we're going to go over the top and then through the last hole. So it makes like an S pattern, kind of like a little barber pole. And then we're going to do the same with this one. We're going to go down, then we're going to come up, and then we're going to go down this one. So it makes it like that. Okay, once you've done those two steps, the next is to come down, and you're going to come straight down, and you're going to go around these tension discs. Now you want to do this with the foot up, because when your foot is up, it releases the tension on these discs, and you want to make sure that you're getting in between there. And then you're going to take it all the way around, and then you got this little spring thing sticking out here. You want to go around that, and you want to go over the end and back down. And if you've done it right, if you've pulled on this, you'll see it doing that. You'll see this little black spring doing this. Okay. Now next we're going to go around this arm, and then we're going to come up into this thread guide and go behind it and just kind of snap it in. And then you want to go through this little hole in the take-up lever. So we're going to go in there, and we're going to come through. And if you want to, you can pull on it, make sure that this thing is moving, this little spring is moving. And then you've got two more over here. Okay, after you come out of the take-up lever, you've got two more guides right here. You just want to go, just snap it back behind both of those. And then you've got this little coily thing. Now, you're going to hold the string out to the side, and you're just going to go around that coily thing so that it's going through the center. You can either do that, or you can just reach over there and just push it down through it. It doesn't matter. Okay, once you've come through this little coily thing, you know, that's a real technical jargon that you need to know, coily thing. I'm just going to take my scissors, I'm going to snip me a new fresh end. And this next step is, if you look right here, there's a little hole in your needle bar. You're going to take this and you're going to go in that hole and pull it all the way through. Now this is an industrial machine, so you're going to thread the needle this way. So you're going to go in this way and out this way. If this was a domestic machine, you would feed it through the front and out the back. So we're just going to take this, and we're going to carefully, let's see how many tries this will take me. I do have my glasses on. 4. All right, so it helps me to see this. But you can just pull that right through, and you are threaded. Now, I have this 1/4 inch Teflon foot, so it doesn't have an open part at the front, so I have to stick this thread through there, and I'm just going to use my tool here to grab that, because I want it going through that hole into the bottom. If you have a foot that has a split on the end like this one, you can just pull it around, you know. But this one doesn't have an open end, so I have to go through the hole on that. All right, so next we have to grab our bobbin thread. So we're going to take this thread, and we're going to hold it. We're going to hold just a little bit of pressure on it while we turn the hand wheel. And remember, you always want to turn the hand wheel towards you. So we're going to come down, still holding a little bit of pressure on there, and when it comes up, you should be able to pull this thread. And it will grab the thread from underneath. And I like to use something just to slide under there. So there we are. We've got our 2 pieces of thread. Okay, just to make sure everything's going good, I'm going to take some of this that's hanging off. I'm going to trim it back to just a few inches. Doesn't have to be much, but I like to hold mine over on this side. And then if you need to, drop your feed dog, your foot, and it'll hold your threads for you. So I'm going to take just some scrap fabric. You don't really want to do a test on a single layer of fabric, because the bottom string out of your bobbin and the top string out of your needle makes a knot, and that knot needs to be in between the layers. So if you only have one layer, how are you going to make a knot? And it's going to be hard to test your tension. So we're going to lift the foot, and we're going to put it in there a little bit. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to adjust my speed of this down to 200. And what you want to do is you want to reach back here, and you can just use your thumb, just press down on it so that when the needle goes down into the fabric, it's not yanking this down with it. So hold on to it and just start. Once it makes a couple of stitches, you can let go. And I'm going to hit my reverse and go forward again, and I'm going to stop. And this machine automatically stops with the needle down in the thread, because you can lift it up, turn it on the needle, lower it back down. And this has a button here for a half stitch at a time. So we're going to hit the button, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. And that's real handy if you're like maybe you're putting some Velcro on some webbing and you don't want to run off the edge of the Velcro. And now that needle's down, we can turn it again and keep on going. Reverse it, go forward again. I'm going to stop. Needle's down. I can hit that to lower it, to raise it up. This is this function right here of stopping with the needle down or stopping with the needle up is a built-in needle position sensor. If you have some of the old other industrial machines like the Jukies, the consoles, the New Techs, ones like that, you can get an add-on needle position sensor that mounts to the hand wheel, and you can program it to do up and down when you stop. We're going to go a little bit further, and then I just want to show you this stitch. We're going to go up, lift, turn it. And the good thing about the needle position sensor is it automatically rotates that piece around the bobbin so that your thread is nice and loose and ready to pull out. So that's what we have there. See if you can see that. See how nice those stitches are? That's the front. Can you see that? That's the front, and that's the back. And these 2 spots right there are where I reversed, just kind of doubled up a little bit. That's a pretty good looking stitch. But thanks for watching, and that's how you thread your industrial sewing machine.